Welcome to Let's Talk Antigonish, the podcast where we sit down with neighbors, experts, and friends to explore the stories, the questions, and the big little issues that shape life in our town, one conversation at a time. So what exactly are those affordable housing units down on Appleseed Drive? And what is affordable housing? Today we talk with Colleen Cameron, who will answer all our questions.
Welcome to Let's Talk Antigonish. This is Anuj Jain with the co-host
Justin Gregg.
Okay, today we have Colleen Cameron, who is chair of Antigonish Affordable Housing, among many other things. So I think we believe that your new units are coming up soon, and you are going to have people there very soon. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Yes, we're excited. We have 17 new units opening. The majority are opening August 1st, and there's a delay on the 4 units, the one building, till August 15th about. So yes, we're right across from the elementary and junior schools, and it's connected to our Appleseed Court Phase One, which is 12 units. So this is phase 2, which will be 17 units, as I said.
And do you know which families are coming in?
So we have selected, we started the process in February. We opened up the applications, and we advertised widely, CJFX, the Hawk, all of the organizations in the community, Facebook, website.
How many applications did you get?
We got 120 applications.
Oh, wow.
For 17 units.
So can I ask, because what is affordable housing? I don't actually know what an affordable housing unit is in terms of, does it cost less? Like who owns it or who's administrating it? Can you just give us a really basic overview of what even are these units?
Well, there's nothing basic about this. It is complex and complicated because everything is defined by the government. And we have the provincial government and the federal government. We have CMHC, which is the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, a federal corporation tied to the federal government, who is the one dispensing the funds, the federal funds for affordable housing.
So they give you money to build it, but also to operate it, or?
And not to operate it.
Just to build it.
Just to build it, and they don't just give it to us, they give us a mortgage.
Oh, I see. They
so
loan it.
They loan us the money at a very reasonable low rate.
So the units then have to generate income to pay back a mortgage, essentially.
That's the intention.
I see.
And how long is the mortgage for typically?
40 or 50 years.
Okay.
So that helps bring the rate down, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the best strategy, though, for if you're building houses and you have a mortgage for 50 years.
Yeah.
But, however, in order to make the numbers work, then this is what we have to do. So going back to the question of what is affordable, there's 2 definitions of affordability. One is attached to people or a household. The other is attached to the building or the units. So when we're talking about people, according to CMHC, a sort of a standard definition across the country is if you are paying more than 30% of your total household income on your living. So you're paying your mortgage or you're paying a rent, that kind of thing, heat and lights, everything. What you pay on your dwelling, whether it's a rental one or not, if you're paying more than 30%, it's above affordable.
Wouldn't that be most people? Am I wrong about that?
There's a
It
lot
has
of
become
people.
now, probably.
A lot of people pay more than the 30%.
Okay.
So that's one definition. The other definition for affordable housing is if you think of there's a housing continuum sort of thing. You have people that are homeless. You have people in transition housing, temporary housing, shelters, temporary housing, and public housing, public social housing. And then you have affordable housing, and then you have market rent housing.
Okay.
And most of the time, like we're talking about rental housing. In as opposed to buying a house or whatever.
Right.
So we're not. There's all You could talk about that, but
Yeah.
really for us, it's rental housing that we're building. So in order for us to get a mortgage and some grant money from CMHC, the rent has to be at below the 80% of the median market rent.
Median market rent per municipality? Per province? What does that mean?
There's Halifax and then there's the rest.
Right. I was going to say,
right.
Yeah. So they do it across the country, and
Across the
they do
country.
Halifax. I'm not sure if Sydney now has its own, but then there's rural Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And they don't get down into the small. We are connected to Pictou County, New Glasgow. So what they identify there, they apply to us.
Okay.
So they take these, and this is a challenge for us because the median market rents are not very accurate. In fact, they're just not accurate at all. Because they're taking all of the rental housing, some of it built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, others is built in the 2000, 2020, 25.
Yeah.
They put them all together and take the median of that.
Take the median. Okay.
So if you have housing from 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, your mortgages in those housings are much lower. You have more repairs, but you can't compare all of this. And it doesn't distinguish whether you have utilities included or not. So example, coming out of the province using CMHC figures, a 2-bedroom unit in Antigonish would be $800.
That's the median according to their stats.
That's the median according to their figures. So we would have to charge below that,
I see.
which
Wow.
is very low. Now, there has been some adjustments, and we do now get compared sometimes with Wolfville, which is another university town and that sort of thing. So it has gone up somewhat, but it's still very low rents.
So give us a sense of like, in 2-bedroom house in Antigonish right now. We just rented one for a new family that has just come out of SAFE. And a 2-bedroom house, an old one,
Yeah.
not very, environmentally, what do you call,
Efficient.
Yeah.
efficient. We are paying about $1,550.
Which seems pretty reasonable. That seems
And so
inexpensive.
that just seems to be the going rate. And what would that cost in affordable
Well,
housing?
I'm surprised what you're paying because I've been checking around and that's low
Yeah.
in
Yes,
Antigonish.
we got lucky.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
and
you get lucky, and
yeah.
so our rents have gone up from our first build to now, just because of our costs and that. So a 2-bedroom and the ones that we're opening up is between 838 and 920 or something
Wow.
in that range. I don't have the exact figure.
That
Right.
seems less
Between-
than half what the actual Antigonish rates are. It sounds
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's at the just below the 80%.
According to the stats.
This sounds very complicated, but tell us, you have been in this for last, I would say, 6-7 years. You have other units that you have been operating.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons that you have learned around, operating affordable housing in Antigonish? What?
It doesn't work.
Oh,
Okay.
that's an interesting statement to come from. So why?
Yeah.
What does
Yeah,
it work
tell
with?
us.
Well, I mean, we are not bringing in enough rent to cover our costs.
And costs would be
Well,
the mortgage.
The mortgage,
The maintenance?
taxes, the maintenance,
taxes,
the
yeah.
snow removal.
You have to pay
the
taxes?
garbage. Yes, we are paying taxes,
Okay.
which is a big chunk.
Property tax.
Property tax.
So they're run a bit like a condo in that when you rent it out, you give snow removal and utilities. That's part of what the rent
That's
covers.
part of, we have it for us. It's all inclusive,
Oh my gosh, that's even less.
which
That's insanely
which
cheap.
is in many places. It
Can I
isn't.
get in? And can I?
I don't
How many
know
people
that
are you
you
trying to
could.
put in one room?
I can leave Jyotsna home and just go in somewhere anyway. Right.
So if you wanted to get into one of our 1-bedroom houses, your total household income would have to be $62,500 or less.
Oh, so there's an income cap.
There is an income cap of who can apply.
Got it.
And if it's a 2-bedroom, oh gosh, my figures now, is at $73,500, and a 3-bedroom is at 84,000.
Okay.
Don't quote me exactly on those.
Yeah, but
that's
we can
the
find
difference.
these figures on your website probably.
Probably it was on our application forms.
Right.
So those are the generals: 62, 73, 84. Total household incomes for 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. So a lot of people working full-time professionals don't make more than that and
Right.
would qualify
Exactly.
for housing.
Yeah, for sure.
Half of Antigonish will qualify.
Possibly,
Yeah.
but if it's a couple moving into a 1-bedroom, then it's the 2 together.
Right,
But if it's a couple that are both working full-time, getting minimum wage,
Right.
we
know a lot of them.
would qualify
Yeah, absolutely.
in that sense.
So, but it's not working in the sense that the money you're generating isn't enough to cover the organization's costs.
And mortgage.
Not at this time. Well, the mortgage is part of our
Yeah,
cost.
so
Our
what-
electricity is part of our cost. So we are slightly below what we are receiving. But with the opening of the 17 new units gives us more income. And we're expecting a little bit of a, quote, profit
Surplus,
on that,
yeah.
a surplus coming in on that building just because of our numbers.
So how do you manage the losses? Who pays for that?
We do a lot of fundraising.
Wow.
And we have a lot of donations. There's a lot of community support.
Wow.
And the fundraising, like the rents cover almost all of our general expenses, including 25% of a property manager. But we have a community navigator who's part of our social sustainability. So in our vision and our plan is that we are going to be socially, environmentally, and financially sustainable.
Right.
And that's what we're striving for. And we're going to provide affordable housing for people here.
Wow.
So
Thank
the community navigator has been with us from the beginning as 75% navigator, 25% property manager. They're really blended in that sense. But that community navigator role, we have to fundraise for.
Right.
Because it's not, we can't manage it in
A
our...
very complex operation, Colin.
So
Wow.
it's challenging that way.
Yeah. But you're still committed to this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What? So it is a charity, right? You can't get a.
Yes, it is.
can get a receipt,
We're a
okay.
registered charity, and you can get tax donations or tax receipt for donations.
Right.
And so it's not working, you say, insofar as you're not covering all the costs based on the income you're receiving. That's
That's
issue.
right.
So what is the solution?
One would be for the government to just give us the money without a mortgage, and we could do the work that really has been in the past the role of the government. Federally, that then pushed it to provincial, is now pushing it to municipal, who's now pushing it to the volunteers. So, I mean, we have a volunteer board that do thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of work for free. And it is a challenge to get the money from the government. The hoops, it's just a nightmare sometimes. I spend approximately 30 hours a week doing stuff around this. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we've asked for funding for an executive director for staff, and the answer is no.
Asked to whom?
Provincial and federal government.
Social housing obviously is run probably by the government. And so they have staff members who get paid.
Yes.
And so if you really calculate that cost, shouldn't you be getting paid as well? What are your thoughts?
Is there some sort of middle ground, you think, where you do have staff or another way of loaning the money or giving the money? Does that exist?
Well, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we're planning another development up on Sugarloaf.
That's true.
That's the Dr.
Dr.
Hendricks.
Yeah.
Dr.
space,
Hendricks
yeah.
property that she gave to us. So we are really getting into that now. We were searching for funding. We got some pre-development funding from the government, which has been taking a long time. We're looking at building maybe 50, 55 new units.
It's a lot.
Probably 1, 2, 3, and hopefully 4-bedroom units. Our hope is when we get to that and the income is coming in from that, we'll be able to have enough in operations.
So is it an economy of scale issue as well?
That's the big part of it.
Okay.
So you can
That's
even
the basis of it right now. So we have to keep growing till we get to a certain point to cover that, because the government has refused to pay for staff for this organization.
Let me change tracks and I think tell us a little bit about the families who have been living in affordable housing units so far, and what is the inspirational part of this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just explain who comes and lives in that. We do not charge rent geared to income.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're making $10,000 a year, you can't afford to come in and live in our unit. If you went into a public housing, they have rent geared to income.
Mm-hmm.
They set that at the 40% mark, not the 30% mark.
Right.
A number of the tenants are working and paying the full rent, and a number of the tenants would receive the rent subsidy from the government,
Okay.
which is a complicated process, but that allows them to come in and live, pay the rent that we have to pay. A good number of our tenants are paying more than the 30% of their income.
Mm.
Even now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's even not affordable. Others are doing it slightly below that, but many of them are not. So the people that have come in are on lower income. There's a whole mix. There's from infants up to 80 years old or 90 years old. We've had, seniors and families with infants. We have a number of younger unattached males living in our units, which are the highest rates of homeless and people suffering. And we have a number of single mothers that come in. We have families, 2-parent families that are living there with children. We have a number of people with disabilities, physical disabilities, some mental disabilities, some,
Age profile?
6 months to 90.
So the only thing they have in common is that they're not over that cap per number of bedrooms income cap. That's it.
Not the number of the income cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And then
yeah.
the number. So there's not 8 people living in a 2-bedroom.
So that's the only thing that's the same about who's living there, just their income, essentially. That it's not too high.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's, again, I feel like that's a large number of people in this town. Many, many people could apply to be there.
Yeah.
That's right.
You definitely have created more stock of houses within Antigonish.
Well, it will be 45 new stock as of 1st of August. That's over 10 years.
Yeah.
45 new units over 10 years.
Which isn't a lot considering the growth of the town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the costs that people are facing, affordability has grown significantly. The food insecurity has grown significantly. So that is a huge issue.
Do you have students or young working people there?
Yeah, we've had some young people. Yes, we do have young people working there. We've had a number of single mothers who have, some have completed education and moved on, got jobs and got a career. Some just coming in. Yeah, we have quite a range of people there.
Does it make it, just a question just popped up in my head in what you said just now. Because it's so affordable, comparatively speaking, does that make it people to stick to that house longer and not move from Antigonish because it's so attractive?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
No question about it. I mean, we don't have a high turnover. We do have a turnover, but it's not a high turnover, and it's for different reasons.
Right.
People moved on to jobs in other places, got a better job or something. But yeah, there's not a high.
Right.
I wonder if that's its own crisis in the sense that, there are not many places to rent in this town. And if the jump into the market is you have to suddenly pay twice as much rent, then you'd be incentivized to try not to earn more so that you could stay in a place that you live in without getting thrown into the terrible market. But that has nothing to do with you. That's just the nature of the beast.
Thing. Yeah.
So going back to that financial sustainability,
yes,
it's a challenge with the rent that we are allowed to charge. So one of the things we are exploring is with this new development for our own financial sustainability, we will probably offer some of the new units at a market rent.
Oh, okay.
So mixed rents.
Oh,
and
and
mixed
that will generate more income.
in order to sustain the financial sustainability.
And there's no like you're allowed to do that. There's nothing.
Well, there is consequences, and we
Oh.
have to figure this out. We have to do all of the numbers. First of all, we have to get it, make sure that we're not contravening our charitable status, because
Right.
any income that we get that's quote profit will go into the organization.
Yep.
It's not to shareholders, nothing.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
that's the one thing. If we're going to have a number of units at a market rent, then we don't get funding through the government for those
Oh, to build.
to build.
It is a local issue, and town and county councils should be worried about affordability in our community. What kind of relationship do you have with the town and county councils?
We have a very good relationship, and we have for many years. We've had members of each council sitting on our board. From the very beginning, each town and county council supported us in our build. The first 4 units we built, we got some funding through both the town and county, as well as the Sisters of St. Martha's. Then we built the other part of Riverside. Again, we got support. And when we built Appleseed, they have given us support. So this is our 4th build. And each time they've given us a certain amount over a number of years. So it's not big one lump sum,
Yeah.
but they are contributing. And that has made a difference in getting us started. Not all municipal governments have been as generous as ours have in that fact, because all municipal governments 10 years ago said affordable housing is not our business.
Mm-hmm.
That's province, or that's the federal government.
Yeah.
But
Or let the market
like
figure
a-
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
market. But now there's a much more emphasis on that.
Mm.
And they have been very helpful.
So, are there any other thoughts you have about the affordable housing that people maybe never talk to you about, but you wish they understood? So, like the public, I wish the public understood this about it because this is something everyone seems to believe, which is wrong, or anything like that?
Yes, there's a real misunderstanding about affordable housing, and it's often compared to public housing, the social public housing. And we are not there. Like, if you think of that continuum with the people that are on the streets, the homeless, the transition, the shelters, all of these, before you get to the affordable housing and then the market rent. So we have a very diverse group of tenants in our building that some make very little money and some make a lot more.
Some are
that they're
professionals.
and they are able to pay the rent. But they meet that income criteria.
Threshold,
And in
yeah.
fact, most of them are well below that total income. So we do have a diverse range of people's income, of people that are there. And I think that makes for a good mix, that you really want to have a mixed income when people are together like that. So that's very important to us. And we just feel that there's just so much more that is needed to be done in this community that we really...
And just on that, what would, beyond affordable housing that you're part of, you do a lot of other things in this community. What needs to happen to make housing and shelter affordable in this town? Do you have sense of that?
Well, all of the developers could jump in and provide affordable housing. They could build 50 units and 10 of them could be affordable. They could get money from the government to do that. The government has been depending on the private developers a lot to do this affordable housing. But for the developers, the process is so complicated. It just doesn't make sense for them to go through and get some money for affordable housing. But the amount of time and effort
Yeah.
it takes is very
The
complicated.
willingness is there, but the procedure
To a
is...
certain extent.
Right.
Right now, people can build brand new housing or units and charge a lot of money.
Yeah. They're not incentivized to make a few of those
No,
affordable.
they're not. I think there's more could be done by the federal government.
Right.
We're in a crisis for the last 20-some years or more. And that's because the federal government has stopped 30 years ago investing in public housing, and the same with the province. And if you go around the world, in Europe and many places,
Good point.
there is affordable housing. The government puts a lot in it.
Yeah.
And here we don't, because here we're only concerned about reducing the deficit.
We have about 25% of Antigonishers who are above 65. And we have an aging population as well, many of whom have single-family homes, but wanting to move closer to the town and hospital and things like that. And there's an increasing kind of people are looking for those in apartments or smaller places. Is there opportunity there? Is there a problem? Do you have a sense on that?
Well, we have a lot of people calling us all the time. We have some of our new tenants are moving in from the county because they can't stay in their own house anymore. They're physically not able, and they don't have enough money to get something at the market rent. So that's very common that we have a lot of people like that.
And that's a systemic issue as well.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming in. This is a lot of very useful information. I think a lot of people are thinking about this specific subject. If they want to find out more information, either because they're interested in housing themselves or they want to donate, which you can do, what is the website address? Do you know it?
Antigonish Affordable Housing.ca.
Okay, so that's where we'll send people for more information. And we'll put links in the show notes as well. So, yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
You're
coming
very
in for this
welcome.
afternoon.
It's,
And all the best for the launch of the new units.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate being invited in to talk about this.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Antigonish. If you like the podcast, don't hesitate to subscribe. Just go to letstalkantigonish.ca and click. Voila! You'll receive new episodes right in your email inbox.
This podcast is a labor of love. Please consider making a contribution, small or large. Maybe a monthly subscription. Depending on the level of public support, we would like to engage local producers and journalists to create more regular deep dive news stories about life here in Antigonish.
Right now, it's just Anuj and I doing this in our free time. You can read all about the podcast and ways to support us at letstalkantigonish.ca. And if you're a local business that wants to sponsor the podcast or even place an audio ad, we are certainly not opposed. A huge thank you to all of our subscribers, and especially our paid subscribers, which have helped us to buy the audio equipment that we needed to get this thing off the ground. And remember to get in touch with us if you have an idea for a future episode or a burning question about life in Antigonish that you want us to explore and get answers to. We welcome all feedback. Just email us at letstalkantigonish@gmail.com. Let's talk, Antigonish.